The vast majority of people in the FI-er community save anywhere from 50 to 80% of their earned income. It's better to have less stuff, less bills, and a place to park your car. Now, being a minimalist and joining the FI-er movement doesn't mean you never spend money. Instead, it means you learn to value your money. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Have you heard of FI-er? Chances are, if you've watched any of my other videos or if you've looked into saving and investing, you've probably heard of it. Now, FI-er stands for Fire, Insurance, and Real Estate? No. Flexible, Intelligent Routing Engine? No, the FI-er I want to talk about is financial independence, retire early. Now, it is a financial movement marked by a life of frugality and extremely high savings rates and investment rates. And when I say extreme, I mean extreme. The vast majority of people in the FI-er community save anywhere from 50 to 80% of their earned income. Compare that to the 65% of Americans who are saving 10% or less of their income, and you can really start to see that those in the FI-er community are true outliers. Now, the primary goal of this FI-er path is to be able to reach retirement at an earlier age than traditional retirement, which is usually around 65. Now, some in the FI-er community want to be totally financially independent and able to retire at the young age of 40, and some even want to hit it earlier than that, say in their 30s. And yes, of course, there are those in the FI-er community who absolutely want to hit financial independence and want to step away from that workforce as early as possible, retire and live life on their own terms. But there are also those in the community who want to continue working long after they reach financial independence. After all, there's nothing that says you have to retire once you reach financial independence. The choice is yours. But I have said this before and I'm gonna say it again, work does become infinitely more enjoyable when you get to work because you want to, rather than because you have to. Now, I'm a member of the FI-er movement, and to be honest, I didn't even know I was a member at first. When I was young, I decided that I wanted to have enough money to live life on my own terms. I didn't know that what I was doing had a name. I saved aggressively and I invested aggressively. I sought to learn everything I could about money and finance and wealth generation. I even went to school for it. During my working career, I have invested anywhere from 50 to 95% of my income. I've always had that benchmark of save at least 50% of your income. For some reason, saving anything less than that seemed like a low savings rate to me personally. When I first started out on my savings journey, I dreamed of what my financially independent life would look like. Now, of course, I didn't call it financial independence. I didn't know the term. I just said when I have enough money to do whatever I want. I actually even started a dream book of all the things I would buy and do once I had the money to do whatever I wanted. I remember that I was going to have a Louis Vuitton purse, and I was going to drive a Lexus and live on a house on the water, and of course I was going to take luxury trips to Europe, flying first class, of course. But then I put an amendment into that and I was like, I'm not going to fly first class. Eventually I'm going to buy a private jet. Needless to say, I had a lot of money to save if I was going to reach those goals. So I saved. I worked, I lived my life, and I saved. Slowly but surely, things began to change. I started to hit small financial milestones and then larger financial milestones. I certainly wasn't living a life of luxury by any means, as I just had a traditional income, but I was happy. I didn't have a Louis Vuitton purse. I didn't drive a luxury model car. Heck, my car isn't even new. And I've been to Europe, but I certainly didn't get there on a first class ticket. But it didn't seem to matter because I realized that I was happy and I was truly enjoying my life, even without all those luxury items. And I started to realize that all of those things, even if I got them, wouldn't actually bring any greater joy to my life. I was already very happy. Now, this is actually pretty common in the FI-er movement. Those people tend to save a lot, live on less, they buy less things, and they start to realize that spending money on things doesn't actually bring them joy. Saving money and living life on their own terms actually brings them far greater joy. More often than not, I see people in the FI-er community tend to live more like minimalists. I'm not saying that everyone who participates in FI-er is a minimalist, not by a long shot, but what I'm saying is that most people who start out on a FI-er journey do tend to take steps towards becoming more minimalistic than they were when they started their FI-er journey. It just means that they no longer spend with reckless abandon, like so many Americans do. Instead, they focus on spending on things that they need, things that they want that truly add value to their life and bring joy to their life. Instead, I refer to this as conscious spending. So they actually care about how they're spending their dollars. They put their dollars to work in a way that matters to them. No dollars are wasted. So instead of buying things just because they're on sale or just because it's the latest and greatest model, those in the FI-er community tend to pause first and they think to themselves, is this something I really want or something that I really need in my life? Generally speaking, people tend to spend freely and they buy things because they think it's going to increase their happiness level. But this isn't actually what we tend to see. According to psychologists, this is what we call the hedonic adaptation. Now, here's how it works. Hedonic adaptation is basically, you can think of your happiness level as a thermostat. Yes, there are things that can happen that can increase your happiness, and there are things that can happen that can reduce your happiness, but more or less, given time, your happiness will return to its desired set point. Now, this was actually proven if you look back with a study that was done in 1978 that compared the happiness level of lotto winners and those who were in tragic accidents that left them paralyzed. Now, you would think those who won the lottery would be happy beyond measure, and those who were in debilitating accidents would be severely depressed, right? Well, that's not actually what the researchers found. Yes, those who won the lotto did experience a boost in happiness, but within just a few short months, their personal happiness levels returned to their pre-lotto winning set points. And the same went for those who became paralyzed. Yes, their happiness took a hit when they had their accidents, but given time, their happiness levels returned to the same that they were prior to those accidents. Outside events certainly can influence your happiness levels, but only temporarily. So if you're banking on buying that new car or buying that house to make you a happier person, you're probably going to be let down. Yes, immediately in the short term, right after making those purchases, you'll probably experience a boost in happiness. But given time, that car will become just another car you drive, and that house will just be the house that you live in. If you really want to boost your happiness long term, you've got to do things like practice gratitude and cultivate strong and positive relationships in your life. As science says, these are foolproof ways to increase happiness long term. This is why, in my experience and the experience of so many FI-ers that I've talked to, we take steps towards becoming more minimalistic because we realize that spending to accumulate things does nothing to boost our life and increase our overall happiness. Racking up thousands of dollars in credit card debt and a garage full of stuff doesn't really do anything other than tie you to your 9-to-5 job for longer because now all you have are these debts to pay. It's better to have less stuff, less bills, and a place to park your car. Personally, I no longer want a Louis Vuitton purse. I don't see the point in carrying around a purse that is worth more than the literal amount of money I have inside it. I love driving my 12-year-old car, and it's reliable and it gets me everywhere that a luxury model could. And I love traveling and experiencing the world, but I realize that whether you're sitting in first class or in coach, the plane lands in the same spot. Now, being a minimalist and joining the FI-er movement doesn't mean you never spend money. Instead, it means you learn to value your money. You start to learn that you spend with purpose and intent, and you spend on things that matter to you. There is no wrong way to spend your money. You want to spend money in a way that is purposeful to you. Now, I urge everyone to consider the FI-er movement, even if they don't fully commit to it, because I believe that the lessons it teaches us about money and what really matters in life are truly invaluable. So let me know if you guys are part of the FI-er movement or if you've even considered it. Let me know where you are on your FI-er journey if you're in it, or if it doesn't make sense to you at all and you feel like living in the here and now and not saving for the future. I'm always open to what everyone has to say. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Please hit that like button and ring the subscribe bell, as it really does help out channels like this. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. If you got anything out of this, share it with a friend, because together we can start to make finance a topic of discussion. Now, I do also have a link for Robinhood down below if you want to grab a free stock. It's there. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.